When I started at WVU, I had the pleasure of having a roommate that was a trainer, one of the athletic trainers, student trainers for the basketball team. So I had a chance to get that perspective from her, and of course I attended not all of the games, but a lot of the games to support her. And I had classmates that were on the team at the time, including Georgianne Wells, Olivia Bradley, J.D. Drummonds. I also had classes with Kathy Parson, who was really at that time starting to put West Virginia on the map nationally. The attendance at that time we were lucky to have probably maybe 100, 150 in there. Student crowds were non-existent. Some people from the community would come out and support the women, but really that was about it. I was not at the game when Georgianne first dunked. I actually saw her do it in practice at least once, but the picture that's shown widely, the media picture, was actually a stage picture because her dunk happened in Elkins. And there were not a lot of people that actually saw it, and really up until about, I think it was 2 years ago, the footage from that, the first dunk, was hidden in a person's basement, and we just finally got that footage, and it's pretty amazing how that took place when she got a pass from Lisa Ribble, who was a guard at the time, and came down and went full court and did a one-handed dunk. I've seen the footage, but again, I did not get to see the actual dunk when it happened. And you can hear on the video footage the crowd reaction was just incredible. But the game was played at an armory in Elkins, so it wasn't like you would see when Brittany Griner had her dunks on a continual basis, how the crowd went nuts. A little different crowd at that time. Upon Georgianne's first dunk and the media reaction and the local reaction, which I would say at that time it started pretty local and then grew out, it was disbelief. What's a female doing dunking a ball? There are a lot of people still at that time that didn't have a lot of faith in women playing basketball, period. And then to have a female being able to dunk the ball sort of set off a chain reaction of, I'd say, disbelief.
Well, my first year as the women's basketball SID was 1989, and we started off with some very good wins with Alabama and Oklahoma in the Sooner Classic, and then we came back later on in the season in December and won at Arizona State, defeated Rice in Arizona State, and won another tournament championship. And you sort of got the feeling then that this team had a chance to be pretty special. It had two key veterans on the team in Jenny Hillen and Judy Eaton, and it had a nice mix of freshmen that came about in Rosemary Kasorik, and we all knew that she went on to great things, but there was a great cast, that freshman class, with Donna Abbott and Lori Wilson and Jocelyn Brannon, and that mix of veterans and with those new spark plugs coming in really really paid dividends for this team. And they had their ups and downs as the season went, but you could tell that they were definitely a team. And it's hard to put a definition on what a team is, but you can just tell if a team is together or a team is not. And that 89 team certainly did come together. To start off that postseason run, to give us our first conference championship, we had to win at Penn State, because the first round games were always on the higher seeded team's home floor. Well, quick history lesson, West Virginia women's basketball didn't win very often at Penn State, especially with the powerhouse, Irene Portland. And we went in there in front of a packed house, a little rec hall. It seats 6,000 or so, and they drew very well for women's basketball. And we won in front of a very hostile crowd. I've never seen a bigger smile on Kitty Blakemore's face than that night. I mean, that was all her years of coaching coming together to win that one special game. I think that while there was some good teams and good wins in the 80s, I think that showed people, especially the winning at Penn State and winning this championship on the road, showed people that, yeah, you can play successful winning basketball at West Virginia in the women's bracket.
The growth of women's basketball in the last 25, 30 years has just been absolutely incredible. Just even in the past 10 years. For West Virginia itself, it's grown with the national scene. I think one of the biggest factors starting in the 80s with those players like Georgianne Wells, with Kathy Parson, with Olivia Bradley, with what they started to accomplish and started to build, it just sort of took off from there here at West Virginia with Rosemary Kasork in the 90s and the accomplishments of her Sweet 16 team, and then just grew exponentially starting in around 2000 with the Mike Carey era, when he came in and what he did with the program in the Big East, which at that time was widely held as the strongest women's basketball conference in the country. And on the backs of Meg Bulger, Yolanda Page, Kate Bulger, Shakia Cole, Yinka Sani, just those players and what they accomplished and what brought us to this point right now, to go from basically, I would hate to say, but really a lowly regarded team to top 7 in the country is just incredible. I think women's basketball has really meant a lot to West Virginia University. You can just look right past it at this point and just see what's on the surface, that the media exposure has brought a lot of positive attention. The success of the team absolutely brought positive attention. But I think more than that, if you look past it, what the people in the area, our fans, the people that come to the games see is that these women truly represent a fantastic part of our university. They're enthusiastic, they're talented, they speak well for themselves and of the university. They take a lot of pride in wearing the gold and blue, and I think that has what really transcended what the importance is and how they have affected the growth of the program at WVU.